I might have said the wrong play. I'm not too sure. 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 I'm not too sure.
So he did suffer a concussion then?
He did.
Were you able to pinpoint when exactly he sustained that concussion
Um, yeah, there's the day after the game, so Monday, there was some, upon reviewing the film, we had some questions. Kind of feel like, we had an idea that there's, hey, did something happen in this portion of the game? Question him. Once we got really, we continued to question him, and once we got some information back, we're like, you need to go see the doctor. So to say with absolute certainty, that it was this, that, or otherwise, it was just, there was some things that caused us to really prod, and as a result, we felt like he needed to see medical professionals.
So we found out collectively, all of us found out today. Hope everything's working. You guys all can hear me. I see a lot of people. Some of the spammers are back as per usual. We found out collectively today at 11:30 a.m. that Tua Tagovailoa did indeed sustain a concussion. Yesterday when I did my show, there was no such acknowledgement. There was no such confirmation. There was nothing out there that said he indeed confirmed had a concussion. So what happens after that? All the haters, and I'm going to call them haters. Some people don't want me to call them haters. All of the naysayers, all the, I don't even know, insane clown posse out there that's in Dolphins Twitter land. Never mind the people who aren't part of the Dolphins fandom. Those are even more whack jobs. But yeah, let's just talk about what some of the stuff is happening within the Dolphins fan base. They went back and looked at a video yesterday and started commenting it on today and said, oh, you're wrong, you're stupid, blah, 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 blah. Dude, that video was 6:30 p.m. yesterday. It is 6:30 p.m. today. Mike McDaniel confirmed to the world today that Tua Tagovailoa had sustained a concussion. But that doesn't stop people who think they've had their, neurological degree obtained on Twitter. They've got their neurological degree from ESPN MD, I guess, where they know for sure what you don't. They know for sure just by looking at things that they can tell you what's going on with Twitter. So I'm going to cover a bunch of stuff today, and these sick, demented people. I tried to do some things here in the chat so we don't have as much of them. I've got a delay on some people. Some people, I really hate to ban people. That's just not how I do. And I know a lot of guys out there, and I'm not talking about, small YouTubers like me. I'm talking about some of the national guys. They don't even pay attention to chats. They don't even pay attention to comments. Obviously, the Dolphins don't really pay attention to comments when they're having their live feeds as well. But I enjoy it. I enjoy interacting with people. And I know you guys like the interaction as well. So I'm trying to do something about this. So, yes, as I'm seeing right here, Tony V says, it's a tough day for Dolphins fans. It's absolutely tough. Nobody likes to see what happened on Sunday. Nobody likes to see what happened yesterday. And I think Tua gave us some indication when he said, I don't really know what happened. So let's listen to Mike McDaniel as he begins to discuss how this thing evolved from Monday till today.
One of the things that caused you to prod stuff on the tape, or was he behaving in a way on Monday, showing any symptoms to you in your meetings with him or with anyone else that caused you to say you should see a doctor?
This specifically had to do with consistencies of things that I studied daily that on tape.
See, as a head coach, he's looking at the tape. And he's like, well, why did Tua call that formation? Or when Tua saw that formation, why didn't he audible out to this play? I believe that Mike McDaniel now says when Tua says things are being miscommunicated, that made him look deeper. So Tua, when you saw this formation, what did you think? Okay, he heard it one time. Run the next play. Hey Tua, what do you think when you saw this? The answers started becoming convoluted, obviously, and concerning to him.
which provoked some direct questioning with a high degree of concern.
Okay, so he just told you something there, a little nugget. I know a number of you guys saw this press conference. I'm trying to break it down when I see what he says. They had him in a room, obviously had him in a room with the film on, and they've got the clicker, and they're sitting there. Okay, what were you thinking here? What were you thinking there? This guy's been with Tua basically every day for the last, 5 or 6 months. If you get to know somebody like that, when their answers start saying whatever he didn't like to hear, maybe 1 or 2 answers, okay, I can let that go. And then it got to a point where he was probably clicking a play, clicking that play, and asking what happened. And I guarantee you from something I'm going to show you with, what's his name? Cameron Wolf. The guys in the huddle obviously went back to McDaniel and said, shit ain't right, man. Something's not right here. We can't put my finger on it, but shit ain't right. And I'm sure some of the players had vocalized to Mike McDaniel, you might want to look into this. They didn't do it during the game. I don't know why. I can't answer that. But for whatever reason, he started looking into it, and he wasn't happy with the answers he was getting.
In regards to Tua, it's a very I've been advised by medical professionals that it's critical that Tua worries only about the day that he's currently in and nothing else. He is in the building, but beyond that, it's as medical professionals will tell you, any added pressure, any added anything beyond that day does not behoove the process at all. So I'll take that very serious and worry about his health first and foremost, and take the advice of the medical professionals.
So obviously Mike McDaniel is not a neurosurgeon, nor is any of the idiots on Twitter, nor is some of the trolls in comment sections. They're just piling on for some reason. I don't have time for it. I mean, I mentioned already about the Insane Clown Posse. If you guys don't know about that, it was a punk rock band that was known for its face. I got a picture of it. I'll show it to you in a second when we get through this. But these guys are doing nothing but going into forums and going into chats and going on Twitter and doing everything they can to disrupt and cause chaos by telling people who are Miami Dolphins fans that your quarterback sucks, he should retire, he should go away. It's almost looks like it's concerted. It's so voluminous and so over the top, it almost appears as though it's orchestrated. I can't tell for sure. I've dug into some of these accounts. Some of them do look like bots, but it's very, very weird. It's very, very suspect what we're seeing. When I post that I'm going to go live or I post a video, some of you guys who are subscribers, you may see the notification. If you're not subscribed to my channel on YouTube, I don't know how else you would know. I do some SEO stuff, but I don't know how else you would know that this video is coming up, because that's how you get notified. On Twitter, you search the hashtag or you search his name and stuff comes up. If you dislike Tua Tagovailoa, if you think he's garbage, if you think we're all delusional, if you think that he should be out of the league, he should go retire, all the things that are being said, why do you want to tell us? I don't care what you have to say. Not even like this much. Most of the people here don't care what you have to say. I have to break it to you. None of us, myself included, are that important where you have to pound your opinion on everybody else. You got something to say? Say it. Good. We can scroll on and keep going. But I don't understand what this effort is. And I do know for sure, because as I've said a couple times, I've been involved in digital marketing for quite some time. A lot of these commenters are bots. And I don't know who's running the bots. I don't know who's orchestrating and pulling the strings. But I wonder if it's the NFL. So that's a conspiracy theory, right? But we've seen lately that a lot of conspiracy theories have been coming true. Using the old Occam's razor perspective, the most reasonable thing could be what you think it is. So let's continue.
How's he feeling?
He's better than yesterday. You know, he's beyond that. I feel like it's kind of weird to extrapolate beyond good, which is what he tells me.
So he did suffer a concussion then?
He did.
He did suffer a concussion. I just replayed that inside of this piece so I could actually say it again. He did suffer a concussion. I noticed there was one comment that I just want to point out. And somebody said, well, Barry, we're not allowed to disagree with you on this channel. Absolutely. I am 100% for spirited discourse. I encourage opposite points of view. 100%. What I don't have any time for is people who, with their vitriol, disagree. Hey, I don't think Tua is going to be the quarterback for the future for the Miami Dolphins. Thank you for your opinion. I value that your opinion. Thank you for watching. I think Tua is hot garbage. He's trash, and you're trash, and Joe's trash, and Fred's trash. Nah, I don't have time for that. That's the difference. If you want to disagree, there's a lot of people in here who I've seen over and over who would love to have a conversation with someone who's got their wits about them. They just don't care to interact with nut jobs. Your opinion is no more valuable than anybody else's, and definitely not more valuable than Tua and his family.
Do we know what stage of the protocol he's in right now?
No, I'm not even really worried about any of that. Again, it is like, you lean on, in moments like this, you lean on medical professionals, and I stopped even thinking about anything but each day, and when it was clear and obvious that is the best thing for him. So stage, all that stuff, it's just a day at a time.
At this point, is Teddy Bridgewater the starter for Sunday?
The whole idea of taking day to day is kind of rough on coaches who have to plan for a bunch of people. So the approach that I'm unequivocally taking today, I was on the phone. I met with him yesterday. I met with Teddy yesterday. I was exchanging ideas and talking through some stuff all the way till like 10:15 last night. Then it was his bedtime. And so moving forward today, and the whole team's approach is Teddy Bridgewater's the starter. This is why.
Okay, did you hear that? I wanted to let that play out so you could actually listen. When Mike McDaniel was asked point blank, did Tua suffer a concussion? Yes. Answered the question instantly. Hey, Mike, is Teddy Bridgewater the starter on Saturday? That's how we're looking at it. That's the approach we're taking. I talked to Teddy, so Mike, is Teddy the starter on Saturday? Well, everything looks that way. I think we're going to go with Teddy on Saturday, and we're taking that approach day by day. What the hell is going on here? That was either a yes or no answer he could have given Perk. Yes or no? It's Wednesday. The game is Sunday. We don't have any idea where in the concussion protocol Tua is right now, and the head coach did not answer that authoritatively. I could play it again. Let me go ahead and back that up so you guys, if you missed it, you can hear it again yourself. Hold on, let me just go back about 10 seconds.
Teddy yesterday, I was,
Okay, here he is.
It's just a day at a time.
At
Perk's
this
gonna
point,
ask him
is
a
Teddy
question.
Bridgewater the starter for Sunday?
The whole idea of taking day to day is kind of rough on coaches who have to plan for a bunch of people. So the approach that I'm unequivocally taking today, I was on the phone. I met with him yesterday. I met with Teddy yesterday. I was exchanging ideas and talking through some stuff all the way till like 10:15 last night. Then it was his bedtime. And so moving forward today, and the whole team's approach is Teddy Bridgewater is the starter. This is why.
Okay, you heard it again. The approach is that Teddy Bridgewater is the starter. You're the head coach of an NFL franchise. Someone in a press conference asked you directly, because your QB1 is now suffering a concussion going through protocol, is Teddy the starter? Can you tell us right now, everybody watching, everybody who's downloaded, everybody who's watching it here, is Teddy the starting quarterback on Sunday? And we got a tap dance. We got an absolute tap dance. When I saw that, I grabbed my head and went, come on, Mike, make the call, say it. If you're not going to say it, you're leading people along. Yes, the approach is Teddy's going to get the reps. Teddy's going to practice with the first unit. Teddy's going to do. That's the approach we're taking. Is he going to be the starter? That's the approach we're taking. And I kind of got ticked off that Perk didn't come back and nail him. Mike, that's not really an answer. People want to know, who's your starter this weekend? Everybody on YouTube, everybody on Twitter, and everything else, ESPN, Fox Sports, everybody was talking about it. And the head coach of our team did not say definitively who the starter is on Sunday. Why? And we're going to get to some of this stuff. But what I try to do is bring you guys and show you the actual information in words and break them down, because Mike is a very, very intelligent guy. He's very couched with his words. Hey, does Tua have a concussion? Yesterday, he's in a protocol. Today, does Tua have a concussion? Yes, he had a concussion. Very definitively got to the point. Is Teddy the starter? Well, that's the approach we're taking. He's getting the reps with the first team. We're gonna work towards Teddy being the starter on Sunday. Am I making it up, or did you guys just hear it? And I see the comments, and so one guy goes, why is that all relevant? Okay, I'm going to tell you why that's relevant. Somebody named King Short says, why is that at all relevant? It's relevant because he is the head coach of an NFL franchise with a concussed QB1 that he may be hoping can make it on Sunday. That's why it's relevant. You don't know. I don't know. He obviously does know. At what stage is Tua in the protocol? Where is he? What kind of grade concussion did he have? Could he? Notice that nobody in the audience said, and some of you guys who watched this, could he start on Sunday? That wasn't asked. Why? Why wasn't it asked? Where is he in the protocol? Wasn't asked. What grade concussion did he suffer? Wasn't asked. So many things just don't make sense. Just don't make sense to me, being able to look at this stuff.
We thought it so vital to go after him in free agency. This is why he's done such a diligent job during the course of the season with his own injuries and such, to be prepared for this opportunity. And I know the team's very excited, feel very fortunate to have him and him to get his opportunity that he's totally prepared for.
Foresee a scenario where you might add an extra layer of caution and either hold him out an extra week or shut him down for the season?
No, again, I think for me to speak totally.
You hear that question? is there another layer of protection that you're looking to put in place to potentially shut Tua down for the season? And an intelligent Ivy League speaker stutters. That was an easy softball question. Knock it out the park. Nah, we're thinking about shutting him down. It might be, to our advantage to shut him down, let him heal. He didn't say that. He didn't say that at all. In fact, you can. Let me go back again so you guys can hear it.
Again, I think for me to speak totally outside the lines of, stuff that's for medical professionals and Tua himself, I think that's a layer of pressure either way.
And this guy in here, King Short, just says it again. He goes, "Why is it irrelevant?" It is relevant. Don't you understand? A football team is run by their quarterback. If he's giving false hope to the fans and the team, then, which I don't think he's doing whatsoever, I think we're looking at a guy who's praying, hoping that his quarterback gets cleared for these last two games. And when asked directly, are you going to put a layer of protection and shut him down? He can't answer that either. He can't answer it. Obviously, that's going to be a decision that the league, I guess, now is involved in, the doctors and Tua himself. That's not a decision that Mike can make, except that he can. He can say if he wanted to, and if he wanted to do it, I've decided I'm going with Teddy Bridgewater the rest of the way. I don't need to give you a reason why. I'm going with Teddy Bridgewater. Today, the Las Vegas Raiders said, "Hey, Derek Carr, you're going to be sitting for the next couple of games. We're going with somebody else." It was non-injury related. He just sucked really bad the last couple of games. But, Tua sucked against the Green Bay Packers. Nobody would have a problem. Nobody would have a problem if Mike McDaniel just said, just definitively said, I'm going with Teddy Bridgewater the rest of the way, whether we make the playoffs or not. He didn't say that. The guy asked him, are you going to give an extra layer of protection and sit him down? And he wouldn't answer. So it's not that I'm sitting here going, oh man, I hope Tua comes back. I can't wait for Tua to come back. What I'm saying is we still don't know all the facts. We're learning them piece by piece. They're dropping breadcrumbs in front of us. Last night, was he concussed? Oh, we don't know. This morning, was he concussed? Yes, he was concussed. When did you find out? Well, we found out when we started asking him questions. Those questions that he's referring to, he asked him yesterday. So he knew yesterday that things weren't quite right. He knew yesterday when he did the press conference that, hey, Tua, you're not answering my questions correctly. Right now, I need you to go see a doctor and make sure you're okay. He didn't know. But something didn't add up. And so everything that we've been seeing has been just a breadcrumb here. Oh, no, I don't know if he's got a concussion. He might, he's in the protocol. Hey, it's just not giving out all the information, which I can understand why the NFL's like, we're going to investigate. Something's not right. Something's not right with this communication. If Tua, not if anymore, Tua suffered a concussion, why not just come right out and say he had a grade 3, he had a grade 4, he had a grade 1, he's going to be okay. We're looking forward to him playing against the Jets. We're going to sit him out against the New England Patriots, and then we're going to go. Nope. Extra layer of protection, shut him down for the season? Nope, can't say. Not really worried about that right now. What are you worried about then? You didn't even confirm that Teddy Bridgewater is going to be the definitive starter. He could have just said, yes, Teddy Bridgewater is our starter. We're going forward with him. We're going to ride with Teddy Bridgewater. He didn't say that. And again, that, like one guy said, is it irrelevant? It could be irrelevant, except for if you've been following this guy since he got hired. He's not been one to couch words. When he wants to say something, he says it. That's what got me looking. I mean, you're asking, Barry, is that irrelevant? Have you not followed? Maybe you haven't. Maybe that's your problem. You haven't heard Mike McDaniel talk before. You haven't been listening to the press conferences. You haven't heard his swagger and how he just comes at, reporters. When he's got something to say, he says it. In this press conference, it was real Dancing with the Stars type shit. He was doing some pirouettes and everything else, but he wasn't hitting hard except for one answer. And that one answer he gave was, does Tua have a concussion? Yes, he does. And he shut up. He didn't say anything else after that. He wasn't going to allow other information to come out of his mouth. I played it. You can go listen to it. He actually sat there and he shut down. He could have offered more. Oh, yeah, Tua's got a concussion. He's in the protocol. We see him right now. He's on step 3. And but does Tua have a concussion? Yes. Next question. And that was it. This guy's got and ah, and he comes up with anecdotes, and he went with the answer in that question, unlike most press conferences he's done all year long. So is it relevant? It's relevant to me because I've watched this guy. I understand how he talks. All right, so this is almost over. Let's finish this up.
I don't pretend to know what that feels like to adhere to somebody else's expectations in some way, shape, or form. I'm just worried about his health on a day-to-day basis. And
see what he said again. We're working on a day-to-day basis. You got a game on Sunday. There's no day-to-day basis in terms of that. You know, Sunday, you've got the New England Patriots up in Foxborough, and what happens today and what happens on Friday, by the time you hop on a plane, everything is scripted out. There's no day-to-day in the NFL. I know many of you probably haven't been in NFL camps. Every single moment of your day is scheduled. You're in training room, you're in meetings, you're working out, you're in practice. You're like, it's day-to-day. What the hell is day-to-day? You got a game on Sunday. Who's your quarterback? Stick with it, go with it. And if it's Teddy, I'm fine with that. I'm fine if Teddy is the quarterback, but I'm telling you, just from what you can hear, there's something we're not being told.
that we'll take that step, whatever step that is next, whenever that next step is. But beyond that, I would feel irresponsible to go even think about if or what or whatever. That's taking a lot of non-expertise in my own hands.
Hey, it's out of my hands. He just said it. That's expertise that's out of my hands. I don't know what's coming next. Yes, tomorrow's press conference, or he may not do one tomorrow. He may do one on Friday, but he could come out at any time and say, Teddy Bridgewater is my starting quarterback for the next 2 games, regardless of Tua's protocol exit, and that's who we're going to ride with. Skyler's going to go number 2. Tua, you're going to be walking around with a clipboard. That's it. I've got to prepare for the Patriots. I got to prepare for the Jets. I'm ready to go. Boom, let's run. That's what I want to hear from Mike McDaniel. So let's take some comments. I know you guys have been just going crazy in here. Let's see. Teddy should do well if he's practicing as a starter. Yeah, I think against these 2 teams, if there's any 2 teams other than the Texans that I think Teddy Bridgewater could do well with, I think it's the Patriots and the Jets. Actually, the Jets announced that Mike White's coming off the injury, and he's going to be starting on Sunday. So they've got pretty much a rookie quarterback on Sunday. Zach Wilson won't be in 2 weeks. Zach Wilson's not going to be their quarterback. Throwing for 300 yards. Okay, boom. Throwing for 300 yards in the modern NFL literally means nothing if you lose. Okay. So is Teddy our guy? It looks like it. It looks like at this moment, Teddy is our guy. I can't tell you, as Mike just said, it's day to day. So you know as much as I do. And everybody on Twitter and everybody in these comments, man, it's just too much. Bernard says, woosah, woosah. That's one of the funny things. Right now, I am actually doing quite well. I feel good. I got this eye allergy that I have to go to the doctor, which I keep wiping because it looks like I'm crying. I'm crying, man, because my eye keeps tearing. But no, I'm definitely okay with you guys. I'm definitely okay with Teddy Bridgewater starting. And there we go. Woosah, woosah. I mean, I'm doing more woosah right now because of the idiot trolls, but I don't care them. Oh, Ray Pursley, you are absolutely right. Run the damn ball. Defense. That's a great point. When your main guy goes down, you got to be the next man up. Obviously, that's Teddy Bridgewater. But you also have to be the next team up. When you guys look around in that locker room, it's time to nut up. Hey, guys, we got to win 2 games. Maybe we only have to win 1, but let's not take a chance. Let's win these 2 games. Who in here is ready to step up and nut up? I am. We need all these 53 guys to say, listen, we're collectively gonna rally right now. And Tua's gonna sit on the bench, and I don't want to hear it. We're gonna go with Teddy Bridgewater. We're gonna block and hope Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson run the hell out of the ball. Tyreek, if you catch it, Jalen, take off, do what you need to do. Defense, Bradley Chubb, which is a problem. He's in a cast today. I'm gonna get to that. Everybody needs to play at 11. You remember the old Spinal Tap thing? You know, I like to turn it up to 11. You need to go beyond 10. You need to be at 11 for 2 weeks. 11 for 2 weeks. Everything has to be left on the field. You need to get after Mac Jones. You need to just go, just turn the hat around and just go and make up for it. These are 2 games that the defense could win. These are 2. I mean, we saw it. Wait a minute. Remember, just a week ago, we saw Mac Jones try to trip a guy because he had nothing else he could do. We saw the Patriots throwing 30-yard laterals backwards that turned into touchdowns. We saw Mac Jones get face planted into the turf. This team should not stand on the same field with the Miami Dolphins, and I don't care who's quarterback. I really think that Skylar Thompson could win these next 2 games if the rest of the team performed at 11. Leave it all out there. You're going to go up to New England, and it's going to be cold. I heard it's only going to be like 50 degrees. No excuses. No oxygen needed. Nothing. It's not hot. It's not too cold. Bust your ass for 60 minutes. Give everything you got. Leave it on the field. If they have to drag you off and give you oxygen afterwards, they can go for it. Now you guys got to pick it up. As Mike McDaniel has said for months, adversity is opportunity. You want to shut these trolls up? You want to shut them all up? Come out there with a 53-man unified ass whooping these next 2 weeks. You do that, and you will shut up ESPN. You'll shut up Twitter. You'll shut up the trolls on here. You'll shut them up. You are in control of your own destiny. I don't think enough people understand that. Even if, God forbid, they lose to the Patriots, they're still in control of their destiny. But right now, on Wednesday, you definitely are in control of your destiny. Go out and win these 2 games. 2 games. 120 minutes to leave every ounce of sweat, blood, and tears on this field for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks. And then you get in the playoffs, and God forbid Tua is not ready, and we have to face the Kansas City Chiefs without Tua. But at least these 2 weeks could build some momentum. It could build some momentum going into the playoffs. You're right. It's all entertainment. So there's no reason for anyone to deal with these trolls. I mean, it was amazing what I saw today. Absolutely amazing when I saw the insane clown posse out there. That reminds me, that picture right there shows me what those guys are. The trolls on Twitter, the trolls on YouTube. And the best part about it, those guys put on makeup because it's all fake. It's all fake. They weren't gangsters. And neither are these trolls on Twitter. They talk, yeah, they have a keyboard. They're keyboard warriors. They can't do anything. They're probably failing in life. Just win, baby. Al Davis, just friggin' win. Let's see what we got here. Can someone please be a leader and step up to the challenge? That's what we need right now. Tyreek, Jalen, the other Jalen, Chubb, Armstead. Who's going to be that guy right now and says, let's go out and get this shit done? Absolutely. Hey, Josette, thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Somebody gave me a super chat, and I've got too many comments, but I want to say thank you. I did see it. Thank you very much. Very much. Let's see here. Entertainment for sure. Edge of the cliff for me, but I'm not jumping. No, there's no reason to jump. I've said it many times. Where's my head? Let me move here. That's a Notre Dame banner right there. And then there's another Notre Dame poster right there. I've been a Notre Dame fan since I was wee high. When I got recruited by Notre Dame, I went out there and I stood in the stadium and looked at Touchdown Jesus. I was there. I actually, hoped that I was going to be playing for Notre Dame. And I've never, ever, in 30, almost 40 years of them not doing crap, have thought for an instant that I'm not going to be a Notre Dame fan. It doesn't cross my mind. Doesn't cross my mind. I am a Notre Dame fan. All the losing seasons, the Charlie Weiss years, the Lou Holtz, he was the last guy who I think was a major coach. Marcus Freeman now, all the time. I've been a Notre Dame fan. Yeah, sometimes my hopes are done in September, but I don't stop watching. I don't get these trolls. I don't get what the hell the insane clown posse is doing on Twitter. Get a life, man. Get a life. You're not affecting people who are real fans. People who are real fans are dealing with this. They may feel the pain and may feel the anguish, but you know what? They get up the next day. They go to work. They enjoy time with their family, and they could give a shit what you say on Twitter. Not at all. Let me be the one to break it to you. Whatever and whoever is orchestrating these campaigns to denigrate and defile Tua, it ain't working. I don't see anybody going, nah, that's it. He's done. I'm done. I'm done with him. Because we're fans of the team, and as long as he's on a team, we're still behind him. At least I am. I don't know about you guys. So there's another video I got to play. I had to do something here because I didn't want to get a copyright glitch. But this is Cameron Wolfe talking about what happened today. Very interesting. Listen closely here.
Yeah, Andrew, I just left the Dolphins locker room about 30 minutes ago, and players learned about this information around the same timeline that we did. They learned that he was in the concussion protocol Monday afternoon when McDaniel told the media, and they learned he had a concussion this morning as well. And so a few of those quotes really struck me. It's a compilation of players having care and shock for Tua, but also having support to rally behind Teddy Bridgewater going forward. And running back Raheem Mostert said, I was shocked when I heard Tua had the concussion, but as I look back at the end of the game, there were some things that were odd.
When I looked back at the end of the game, Raheem Mostert, and said there were some things that were odd. The players saw something wasn't right. Tua, he may not even known he had gotten a concussion himself. I saw a lot of people saying, hey man, why did he just come out the game? He may not have known. If you've never had a concussion, there's no way you can understand what's happening. You may see a couple of stars and think, okay, maybe my blood pressure is up. Maybe I just got dinged and let me just shake it off and I'm going to be okay. And you never stumble. Nothing ever happens. But the guys around you, and now Raheem Mostert looking back and going, something wasn't quite right. I don't know what it was, but something wasn't quite right.
Oh, there was things that were off, and not necessarily only with Tua, but the flow of the game.
That, to me, was extremely important. Not just with Tua being off. Remember what Tua said during his press conference. There was some miscommunication, meaning I'm not understanding the play that you're sending in, or why this play is being sent in, or do we have the right personnel on the field for this play? And now I've got to sit there and call it and adjust guys, and they're looking around going, something's not right here. We're not clicking. So we're into the 17th week of the NFL season, 17 weeks, plus 4 weeks of preseason, plus OTAs, and not just Tua, but now Raheem Mostert. So we know other guys in the huddle are going, this doesn't sound right. Something's wrong. Something's really off here. Is this system too complicated? So should we take some of this motion? Should we take some of these plays off the table for the next couple of weeks? Go with the shit we know? But for him to say that, he told Cameron, something was off, not just with Tua, but with the flow of the game. we're running the ball. Should we keep running? Why did things stop? Why did it abruptly go to this pass or that pass? The players are noticing something isn't right.
Asking myself what's going on, what's happening here, and come to find out that he has a concussion. Wow, that's a shock. And
that's a shock, meaning he didn't see it either. Everyone on Twitter is like, oh my God, why didn't he see it? Let's have an investigation. We need to, tear down the house and figure out what the hell is Mike McDaniel's doing in the Dolphins organization. He's in the huddle. Raheem Mostert's in the huddle with Tua. I'm shocked. He didn't appear to have a concussion with me, which means the miscommunication and the flow of the offense was more disrupted than Tua. He just told you, Raheem Mostert, when something's not right here. Oh, Tua had a concussion? Oh, that's number 2 on the list. Number 1 on the list is the flow of the offense isn't working. Why wasn't it working, Mike? Why weren't you getting the communication, Tua? I'm trying to break this stuff down for you so you guys know what's going on in a huddle. I have no desire to deal with the idiots on Twitter and stuff like that. I have to because sometimes I see them, but I want you to be able to focus in on what the players are actually saying. That's really important.
You go through the locker room and you hear Jalen Waddle talk about how it's a violent game and how we really have to, care about our well-being and what's going on with ourselves as players. And, you look at this Dolphins team, they are a team that's very much in the playoff mix, needs to win at least one of these 2 games and ideally both to get in. And they are trying to transition from the shock and care with Tua into Teddy.
Okay. So they're trying to transition in the shock of Tua not being there into Teddy running the system. And Jalen Waddle, he's been hurt a few times. And he's saying, man, this game is violent. It's becoming more violent. You know what? How about NFL, instead of investigating the Miami Dolphins, instead of putting nice, catchy social justice slogans in the end zone, how about you get rid of the turf and put grass back down? How about if you really, 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 really care about the players? Oh my God, this player's safety. Oh, the players need to be safe. Put friggin' grass back on the fields. If you really cared, we would be playing on grass field. Now, I don't know what the guys who built these billion-dollar domes are going to do, but if you cared and gave a shit about the players like you really said, I can almost guarantee you, other than maybe kickers, place kickers, that if you did a poll amongst active players, it would probably be excess of 90% would say, can we have grass again? Can I not have these non-contact injuries that rip up my Achilles or my knees just because I try to make a cut on ungiving AstroTurf? Do you really care about the players? How about when we have the winter meetings, we start talking about, hey, we're going to have to bring grass back? Would Tua have these concussions if they were playing on grass? Anybody thought about that? Anybody thought, would he have concussions if when he banged his dome, it was grass? I wish somebody would do a study. Number of concussions per year with AstroTurf and the number of concussions per year on grass. Nobody wants to talk about that. They want to have investigations on how the neurosurgeons and the independent spotter and all this kind of crap, what they're doing to make sure players are off the field. When the biggest safety obstacle in the NFL is flipping AstroTurf. Sorry, I digress, but, it's my show, so I'm going to talk about it. That's because I can. AstroTurf is the worst thing for an athlete, period. But they won't do it. They won't change it.
Who had a concussion himself said his message to Tua is to take care of yourself. Very simple. And Tyreek Hill mentioned that, hey, look, we really care for Tua, but we have to transition ourselves to a next man up mentality.
Tyreek says it. We care about Tua. Tua's his boy. But we have to transition ourselves to a next man up mentality. He didn't say next quarterback up mentality. Now it's a time for this team to galvanize. You want to see what happens with opportunity and adversity? This is when you have to show it. You got 2 games. You got 2 games to win. You got 2 games to prove to people that you can pull this out. Forget what happened last week or the 4 games before it when you've blown these leads. You showed what you could do. Now it's just a matter of getting it done.
physicality. And when I say that, I mean that Teddy Bridgewater, we have full confidence in him going into New England. Remember my comment earlier in the season about putting numbers up with anyone? That still stands. And so we feel like we'll be okay.
We feel like we'll be okay. I even would take a step further. I want to hear these guys start talking publicly about they're going to win this game. Just come out now, be bold, and let's move forward. So I have a comment here. I had to save it. Somebody asked me, Barry, how did you become a Dolphins fan? Pretty easy. Moved to Florida, worked in Orlando, and the closest team 25 years ago was the Miami Dolphins. Didn't like Jacksonville. Tampa Bay was on the West Coast. So I was like, Dolphins could work. Dolphins could work. But let me go further with this. Somebody had said yesterday, let me see if I can find it, or was it today, that I'm not really a fan of the Miami Dolphins. Somebody said today, and let me pull this up so you guys, let's talk about exactly what somebody said, which is funny as hell to me. This guy says, he told, let me just give you the backstory. Somebody said that I'm not a Miami Dolphins fan. I'm only a Tua fan, and I'm a Tua stan. That's why I have this channel. So I wrote back and said, if you're a Miami Dolphins fan, you pray for Tua to get better and return to health. Also, if you're a Miami Dolphins fan, the conversation and support now needs to be focused on supporting Teddy Bridgewater, period. Time for Teddy Two Gloves to show some value. And I was letting this guy know that I'm a fan of the team. And what I mean by that, and it's pretty interesting. Where is this thing here? Let me go with it. Okay, you guys can see it. And I said, someone from the insane clown posse of Dolphins Twitter said I'm not a Dolphins fan because I'm such a Tua Tagovailoa fan. I speak so much of Tua Tagovailoa. Let me explain something to the morons, and if there are any in here, let me explain it to you guys as well. I'm a Tua fan because I'm a Dolphins fan. Do you understand that? I'm a Tua Tagovailoa fan simply because I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. I'm not a Trevor Lawrence fan. I liked Tom Brady when I lived in Connecticut. I could have easily chosen to say I want to follow the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I follow the Miami Dolphins, which makes me have to be a fan of Tua Tagovailoa. I wasn't a longtime fan of Tua. God knows me and a bunch of other people couldn't stand Alabama. I couldn't stand Alabama. Didn't want anything to do with Alabama. In fact, I keep pointing it out. There's my Notre Dame banner right there. Notre Dame played Alabama in the Orange Bowl a few years ago and got their ass munched. This is before Tua. Just completely blitzed, got destroyed. I hated Alabama. I didn't pay any mind to Tua. And then when he became part of the Miami Dolphins, I welcomed them with open arms. It's very simple. You cannot be a fan of the player without being a fan of the team. The team comes first. Don't you get it? Don't you understand the only reason I can be a fan of Tua Tagovailoa right now is because I see him. I'm there. I talk. I watch. I visit the stadium. We've gone to the box seats. Whole 9 yards. So if I'm rooting for the Miami Dolphins, I want the players on the field to do well. Take it a step further, if that's the case. Mr. Insane Clown Posse, were you a fan of Tyreek Hill when he played for Kansas City, or did you become a fan of Tyreek Hill because he's playing for Miami? Same thing. I didn't follow Tyreek Hill. In fact, I didn't really know much of him when he played for Kansas City. Am I a fan of Tyreek now? Hell yes. The Insane Clown Posse doesn't understand that. You need to probably say some prayers for these people. They don't understand this whatsoever. To them, this is all new. I have no idea, but I saw what they said about Ryan Tannehill, and I really feel like this is an orchestrated insanity. I really feel like they are doing this because somebody is telling them to do it. I don't think it's organic. I dig into Twitter. I can see when a person signed up for Twitter. I can take their handle, do some searches, come back, do some keyword relevance, Boolean search type things to see what they're all about. And it doesn't make any sense. I didn't know anybody named Tyreek Hill a couple months ago, but I'm a fan now, an absolute fan. Maybe some people who lived here in South Florida follow Teddy Bridgewater because he's, from Miami and everything. But Teddy Bridgewater never showed up on my radar. I didn't know who Teddy Bridgewater was. Never knew who Teddy Two Gloves is. Never crossed my mind who this guy could be. Now he's going to be starting probably, maybe, asterisk, could be, hopefully, we don't know, on Sunday. He could be the starter. May very well be the starter. So am I a fan of him? You're damn right. I am now a Johnny-come-lately fan of Teddy Bridgewater. Sue me. No, I have not followed Teddy Bridgewater his entire career, but I am following him now, and I'm a fan of his. Why? Because he's got that uniform on. So these people who say this kind of insane shit make absolutely no sense, and it tells me their intelligence levels are like snails. They don't get it. They don't even understand what being a fan is. Wusa? No, I just had to say that because it just drives me crazy. So there's a couple other things I want to show you. A couple of things from Barry Jackson. And take a look at this. Barry Jackson says, bottom line is that Tua's second half play, the 3 interceptions, cannot be blamed on him. The team now believes he was playing after having had a concussion. One that nobody knew about except one guy on Twitter, which I'm thinking he's talking about himself. But what's interesting there is that line. I like to break things down. I think you guys know now I like to break things down. I like when somebody says something, being able to, almost like a lawyer, surgically determine what the hell they're saying. And he said the team now sees and says he was playing after having had a concussion. The team now says that. The team. Let me rephrase that again. The team. Not the nuts on Twitter. Not the people on other YouTube channels. Not me. Not you. The collective 53-man unit and practice squad now believes, hey, it wasn't Tua's fault. Don't worry about it. We understand. He was playing with a concussion. He was seeing green men run around the field. Who knows? But they believe now it wasn't his fault. His second half play cannot be blamed on him. Straight up. 3 interceptions. All right, we now understand what's going on. Do you? Do you now understand what's going on, or are you bailing on Twitter? I'm sorry, bailing on Tua. So the next one I want to show you is pretty interesting. Is that the NFL has now initiated a joint review Tuesday into the application of the concussion protocol by the Miami Dolphins. So, how many concussions have there been in the league? And this is the NFL again coming to say, hey, we think you guys might not have handled this correctly. We're going to bring in the suits and give you a colonoscopy for free. And we want to just dig in and see what the hell happened here. Well, Mr. Initiator, I don't know what you're going to do, but like this guy said, Pat Freiermuth, T. Higgins, Kenny Pickett, none of those guys caused a colonoscopy with their team. Plus the guy Matt Morse, who's had 6 up in Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. I don't know where Pat Freiermuth, I think he's with Pittsburgh as well. None of those teams are undergoing the colonoscopy. Why? Who's one of the coaches in Pittsburgh? Yeah, that'd be Brian Flores. Yep, that would be Brian Flores. That's who one of the coaches is in Pittsburgh. They don't touch him. He's in a lawsuit. We don't dare do anything because Brian Flores, might say it's racist. I don't know. But something doesn't add up. Barry, you're nuts. Maybe not. Occam's razor, baby. Occam's razor. and this is something else that popped up, which I really had a liking to. I don't know who this guy is, but he goes, if you don't like Tua Tagovailoa as a player, fine. That's your prerogative. But to take victory laps because of an injury is as classless as it gets. Nope. I'm going to tell you what's even more classless. Calling yourself a fan of the Miami Dolphins and taking a lap because of Tua's injury. I expect low-life gambling fans of opponents to find some exhilaration that Tua is no longer going to be playing for however long. I don't understand it, and it is completely classless for our own fans. Or for our own fans. We have to use the word lightly. For our own fans to take pleasure in Tua being hurt. The insane clown posse of Dolphins Twitter. They're fake. It's astroturf. It's not organic. It's completely bullshit. And I don't know who's behind it, but somebody is. And so, let me see if there's anything else here. I like this one. Over 125 players have been concussed just this year. Just this year. But we are the only team that gets investigated. And those 125 concussions are the ones they know of. Don't tell me there's probably not double that amount from linebackers and offensive linemen who just go back after the game and go, oh shit, my head hurts. But I'm not saying a word because I got to be here next week. You know how many people have been concussed throughout their lives and have had no problem? But the NFL now, being the social justice warrior organization that it is, we got to do something to help the player. We're going to just come in here and we're going to shut everything down. You're going to have to jump through hoops and skip some rope and touch your nose and do some crazy shit just to prove to us that you're okay when they have no idea. See, that's the thing. This is all a game. It's show. It's a tap dance. There is nothing other than brain swelling. There's nothing that you can actually test for in a 3, 4, 5 day period that determines you're recovered. Because everything else is subjective. The player, hey, how many fingers am I holding up? 2. He may see 3, he may guess it. Nobody's checking. Are you dizzy? No, not dizzy at all. You have a headache? No, not really. What are you going to do? But you got a whole league full of astroturf, but nobody wants to talk about that shit. I'm sorry, I digress. So anyway, not more importantly, but additionally important is something Barry said again. McDaniel said several important players are now in question for Sunday because of injuries. Beyond Tua, Chubb and Ingold were the only ones disclosed. Notice that word? Chubb and Ingold were the only ones disclosed. So you don't even know who else is hurt back there. No, we're not telling you. And both those guys have casts, so it's visible. Hey, man, you got a cast on your hand. Are you going to be able to play Sunday? Not really sure, but I think we can make it a go. I think we can go with it. Decisions pending late in the week. So I may have a broken hand. I may have a, bone broken in my arm. I may be, injured, but I can go play with that because who knows the arthritic development that would happen from a hand injury when I turned 50. I can tell you right now, some of my fingers don't point in the same directions anymore. Some of my fingers take left and right turns. I can show you on my hand, if it was a close-up, that there's just different ways my fingers go. When it was cold down here last week, I was like, ow, my hands hurt. Wasn't nothing wrong with my head. I can't grip this anymore because it's affecting me because the arthritis in my hand from being hit and me hitting other people. Yeah, nobody wants to hear about that. You're okay. You have no lingering effects from football. Hey man, my knees. I had knee surgery on my left knee. I had surgery on my right ankle. Hey man, it's cold out here and I feel like walking like, Sanford and Son. Oh, I'm hobbling. I'm doing a waddle without scoring any damn touchdowns. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. But talk about CTE. Oh no, hey man, you might be drooling by the time you're 55, so we got to make sure we do something now to satisfy the crazies. I'm telling you how it is. You ask anyone who played football back in the day. Some of you guys might remember, and I mentioned it before. Look up Jack Youngblood. Look up Jack Youngblood and be prepared to be shocked. I know I'm getting ready to go over an hour. I apologize, but I just wanted to bring that up. Jack Youngblood was a defensive end for the then Los Angeles Rams. He played an entire game with a friggin' broken leg. I swear, truth. He played a game as a defensive end with a broken leg. Men were men. Men were men. I need to win. My team needs me. I'm not bubble boy. I need to be out there. Yes, there's been some guys who've had some horrific problems with concussions. Junior Seau being one in terms of committing suicide. I don't wish that on anybody. But you're talking about a sliver of players, and you're causing all this ruckus amongst things. And I'm not diminishing what concussions can do. But I am saying, look at it in a relative sense. If Tua thinks he can go and they don't have anything on their brain scan to show that his brain's inflamed or swollen or anything, stop this dance. Stop with the investigations. We're going to play flag football eventually, but for now, can we not deal with this shit? So I've gone over. I'm going to take some comments because I need to. I like you guys talking, and I've kind of just been rambling myself. So, hey, Jim, yeah, Junior Seau. Junior Seau was an absolute beast on the field, and the poor guy, as a linebacker, went and killed himself. I remember watching him and when he played at USC and stuff and going, man, this kid can play. He can actually play. And unfortunate what happened to him later in life. Sal E. Run the ball, and run the ball. Take pressure off the QB. Yep. I could not agree with you anymore. When Raheem Mostert was talking about the flow of the game, obviously pre-game and during the week, they had a game plan that they were going to execute. Remember, they were up at the half. They could have just kept running the ball. But for some reason, they got away from it and the flow didn't work. Let's see here. Where's Terry Romines? Hey, Terry, what's going on? They all get the payout. They all know the risk, and we pay to watch. Are you not entertained? As they said in the Gladiator movie. Yes, we were gladiators. We're modern-day gladiators. We knew we got paid to do that, and we chose to. It is what it is. Yes, good point here. Barry, you where is that? You know of Jack Tatum, nicknamed the Assassin, used to murder people in the middle of the field. His book, some of you youngsters, go out and read a book called They Call Me Assassin. They Call Me Assassin. He dared wide receivers to catch a pass over the middle. He friggin' dared you. If you came across the middle, you're going to have dinosaur arms because he's going to stick you. And then he stuck somebody and paralyzed him, Darryl Stingley. Nasty hit. Sort of like that hit in San Diego. Boom. But yeah, he was called the Assassin back when men were allowed to be men. I'm sorry if that offends you. I really am. I'm really sorry if your snowflakes melt when you hear men being men. But this game wasn't for pansies. Just wasn't meant for. That's why they had soccer. Oops, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. Stick with the run game and wear the defense out as well as the clock. Yep. And then when you see a shot, take the shot. Take the shot when you can. The NFL, Lauren says, isn't going to let Tua win. And you may be right. They're allowing Miami's receivers to be held, pass interference, no calls. Yep. They're doing everything. And so now this whole Twitter effort, I believe, is orchestrated and manipulated. It is AstroTurf at its best. Tua is more important than the Dolphins. Sorry, guys. Every player is more important than the team off the field. But when you step on the field, you're part of the team. So right now, with the doctors and Tua has to make a decision with his wife and his family and say, I'm either in or I'm out. Can't be a little bit pregnant. Can't do it. You're either in or you're out. If you're in, you know the risk, you're going for it. And that's his decision. Fuck off if you think you control what this young man says. He knows his body. He knows the risks. How many people, hopefully none of you, go to a bar and then get behind the wheel of a car? Like, I can make it home. I think I can do this. I can make it home. How many people don't weigh that risk? How many people just get in a car and don't realize as you leave your house, something could happen? You make that decision on your own. Dan B, you're absolutely right. The receivers aren't the only ones being held. JP has been held all year with no calls. All you'd have to do is watch the game, rewind it. Instead of just watching the play develop, go ahead and look at the people on the line and see what's happening. And you can see it for sure. There's definitely a concerted effort not to call penalties that help the Miami Dolphins. Where is that? Where is that? Oh yeah, John, I love this. We spoke about it last night. Hopefully, if Tua takes the field again, he's got the big kazoo helmet, the giant helmet that basically has padding around your dome that they'd have to basically hit you with a baseball bat for you even to feel it. It's a little bit heavier. It takes some getting used to because it's so much bigger. And Patrick Mahomes plays with it, and he's doing fine. He's doing absolutely fine, isn't he? Yep. And he's got the big kazoo helmet. He's running around, so yeah, he can do it. What is Donna Hawkins says? Tua has to get better. Screw the playoffs. That is life, and life moves on with you or without you. I can't disagree with you there. Yeah. Pass out the panties, not the jocks. No, man. This sucks for Tua. The Finns are cursed as long as Ross owns the team and Greer is GM. Dude, stop. Just stop. Stop. Nobody's cursed. Come on. What percentage Teddy Bridgewater playing this Sunday? Well, barring him getting knocked out, I think he's going to play the whole game. It would make sense. Yeah. Laura says, poor Tua. Can you imagine what he's going through? Yes. I can completely imagine what he's going through. Forget the injury. Injury is easy to decide what he's going through because depending on where he is on that protocol, you can tell where you are. What he's going through is got an inner circle of people who may have different viewpoints on what he needs to do. Maybe his wife thinks one way. Maybe his mom thinks another way. Maybe his father thinks a third way. And he's listening to these people. And I don't know, I'm a parent. And if you told me, hey, listen, you have an X percentage of being in diapers in a drool cup by age 50, at that point, you have to determine what you want to do. Do I know if that conversation has been had? I don't know the severity of his injury. Nobody's telling us the severity of his injury. And one of the worst things I saw today, I wish I had cut that out. One of the worst things I had seen today was people saying they were holding Tua out for a PR move. They don't want the bad publicity in Miami by having Tua clear the protocol. I don't know if that's true, but God forbid, if we've gotten to a point in this nutbag society where everybody's opinion, I saw the guy from Southwest Airlines had to apologize to the world today because he canceled some flights. If we've gotten to the position now, unfortunately, my feelings, you hurt my feelings. If feelings overcome everything else, we're in big, deep trouble. Big, deep trouble. This is his decision. Is this a PR move by the Miami Dolphins because they don't want people coming down on them? Their own fan base? Could that be? I don't know. I sincerely hope not. Okay, you're being a smart ass here, aren't you? Paul Hollins, let's go back to the day when players had no face masks, when you could clothesline tackle players, when you could drive your helmet into a player's back to touch him down. Real football. I think you're being satirical, but I'd like you to go back and see how many of those guys had problems the way they have now. No, I would never have played without a face mask. Some of the stuff you're saying here was downright dirty, clothesline. I'd like you to look up a guy named Conrad Dobler, who used to play for the St. Louis Cardinals back in the day, who admitted he would bite guys underneath the pile. Bite them. Bite them under the pile. There's shit that happens in a scrum, and you have no idea what's going on. Guys getting punched in their nuts, guys getting punched in the belly, guys, their ears being, all kinds of shit. Your fingers being... What you don't know, you don't know. So a lot of guys, a lot of people, and this is another pet peeve of mine, when people call me TuaNon, and what do you immediately think of? I know I'm going a little bit long here. What do you immediately think of when people say things like TuaNon? Let me tell you, it's a manufactured term. Someone in the media said it, people glommed on it, and they began using it. So much of our language at this point is being coerced by certain people where you can't say X, Y, or Z. Even on YouTube, I can't say certain words. Or immediately, you get flagged because you said the apple is an orange when the orange wanted to be an apple, but sometimes an apple is an apple. But you can't say it anymore. So is Tua in a situation where the Miami Dolphins feel right now that from a public relations standpoint, they can't say what they really want to do? I hope not. I hope not. Hey, Baldy, you're absolutely right. There's always a conspiracy theory until it comes true. And it's funny because the people who say that people are basically using conspiracy theories never come back when the conspiracy theory becomes found to be true. They never come back. Why is that? I don't know. McDaniel is too impatient with Waddle and Hill to stay with the run. Do some reversals or Wildcat to get them involved. At this point, we're going to see, hopefully, what he really can do. He asked for adversity. He said adversity is opportunity. You got 2 games to make the playoffs. You got a world of opportunity sitting in front of you, and you got a world of world of chaos and adversity knocking at your door. So if you believe that adversity breeds opportunity, you got a ton of opportunity, my friend. Mr. McDaniel, you got all the opportunity in the world. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it this Sunday? How are you going to spin that opportunity into a win? Yeah. He says the CIA invented the term conspiracy theory. They might be listening, so I'm not going to say anything, but go ahead and look up Mockingbird. If you look up Mockingbird, or you don't want to look up Mockingbird, go ahead and watch The Bourne Identity, or The Bourne Ultimatum. That's just a conspiracy. I digress. Remember Lyle Alzado? He was another one with the reputation of Lyle Alzado would rip your freaking face off. Yeah, he was a steroid junkie, basically. He could bench press. I think I outbenched him, but he could bench press in the 5s as well. And the guy was just beyond dirty. Okay, if you want to talk about dirty, but not dirty. As I was a young man growing up playing football, I used to read all about these guys like Alzado and Dick Butkus. And I remember reading, I'll close with this quick anecdote. Dick Butkus, when he was asked, how do you hit people so hard? And I swear this is true. I'm going to tell you a true story. Dick Butkus was asked, how do you hit people so hard? And he looked the cameraman in the eye and he goes, because I'm not hitting that guy. I'm aiming for a spot through him. That's almost martial arts like. I'm not trying to hit you. I'm trying to hit the space behind you. You're just in my way. So if I go through you, I'm really going to punish what's ever behind you, even if it's nothing. But my thought pattern isn't to hit you. My thought pattern is just, you're in my way, and I'm ramming my fist or helmet or shoulder pad through you. That's the kind of hitting I remember. Let's see here. If Tua retires, there'll be a lot of pretty good free agent quarterbacks out there. Wow, you've gone to retirement already, huh? Make sure you guys subscribe. You need to like this is in Dolphins Media at the forefront. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much for that. Oh, yeah. I'm going to close with this. Somebody says, there's two here I want to talk about. Somebody mentioned Howie Long. Well, I remember our team playing against Howie Long. I remember after our team beat Howie Long back in college when he was in Villanova, and he was a steroid monster. Well, up in Philadelphia, where Villanova is, and there's South Street, and, it used to be a big party area and everything else, we saw Howie Long on the street in November in about 30-degree weather, and he just ripped off his shirt. And he lifted up a car and screamed. And then one of the other guys lifted up the other side of the car, and they turned the friggin' car over. Howie Long, who sits on that panel now, who's probably in his 60s as well and looks kind of demure and calm, was an absolute nut job. And he could play his ass off. And it's funny here. Barry Cunningham, remember what Bill Romanowski did to Dave Meggett's fingers? Yeah. Bill Romanowski is from near my hometown. He played at Rockville, Connecticut, Rockville High School. They had a special defense. I'm telling you all the nuggets here. They had a defense called a 6-1. 6 linemen, 1 linebacker, and then his defensive backs. Bill Romanowski was the sole friggin' person behind the line. He was just insane. He owned everything between the yard lines. 1 linebacker. That's how fucking good he was and how crazy he was. If you tried to come at him, he'd break you in half. You tried to run away from him, he'd sprint down. And he took that mentality to Boston College, and then, of course, he went to Denver. Yeah, I remember that when he went to about Dave Meggett. You know where Dave Meggett is right now? I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and look that up, and you can go ahead and think about where Dave Meggett is right now. NFL doesn't talk about him. Look him up. Look up and see where Dave Meggett resides these days. Go ahead. Love you too. God bless Barry. Thank you for all you do. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in and dealing with my madness. I'm not a member of the Insane Clown Posse. I believe that this team can win both games. I believe that Teddy Bridgewater as QB1 can actually do some damage this weekend. I believe that the Dolphins themselves could win this game and clinch a spot in the playoffs. And I wish Tua the best. And I'm not going to denigrate Teddy Bridgewater. In fact, as I said in my tweet, do I still have my tweet here? Let me just see where it is so you guys know I'm not full of crap. Yeah, I'm behind Teddy Bridgewater right now. You got to turn. You got to focus. You got to focus on what we're doing right now. Right now, we got Teddy Bridgewater as our QB1. Maybe sometimes, I don't know, maybe today. But until further notice, Teddy Bridgewater is QB1. I don't think we need to discuss Tua the rest of this week unless something happens. There may be an update on his condition and where he is in protocol, but I don't need to make another video about Tua. But watch what happens on ESPN. Watch ESPN talk about Tua every single day, every single show. Get up, ESPN. They're all going to be, First Take. They're all going to be talking about Tua. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Mindset right now is on that guy right there. My mindset is on Teddy Bridgewater. My mindset is on let's root for Teddy. Let's hope he gets all the support he needs. Let's see if Teddy can pull this game out. He's got the tools. He's got the weapons. It's time for this team to step up. And if they don't step up, they're screwed. Well, maybe not fully screwed. Maybe like just a couple turns away from being fully screwed. QB1 is Teddy Bridgewater as of right now. Let's get behind him. Let's be Dolphins fans and not be complete morons like the Insane Clown Posse. Hopefully there wasn't too many of them here today. I tried to take some steps to neuter them, but If they did, I'm sorry. Thank you for watching, and those of you guys who did super chats. I'm the only person here, so it moves so fast, and I'll check it, and I'm gonna thank you if you brought it in already, not even knowing if you did. And we'll talk to you. Hey man, I'm liking these Thursday night deal. I mean, these evening deals at 6:30. Maybe I'll do one tomorrow. Let's see what happens in the news. Let's see where the Dolphins